Uh, welcome, yo. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Lesson Overtime with your host, Miss Vicky. Time. It teaches us so many lessons. So, Lesson Overtime with your host, Miss Vicky. Time. It teaches us so many lessons. So, Lesson Overtime with your host, Miss Vicky.
Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Lessons Over Time. I am the host, Ms. Vicky. I'm also known as Grandma Vicky, but I'm better known as just Mom. And on today's episode, I want to talk about isolation. What to do when you find yourself alone, especially as you get older. Now, as for me, when I was growing up, I was raised with a bunch of siblings, and then I ended up getting married and having two children of my own. And you always had this noise. You either had your sisters coming over, your mom going over to your mom's house, kids having friends over, just all the things, just all of the stuff, all of the noise, all of the busyness, the hustle and bustle at work, everything. And then one day, your kids grow up, they move out, they start a life of your own, and you find yourself alone. Now, again, as for me, I got into another long term relationship, but when that gentleman passed away, again, I found myself being alone. And I realized this time around, I enjoyed the peace. I went into kind of like an isolation because I wanted to rediscover, reinvent myself, find out what I liked, what I didn't like. Who was I? Who was I? After being a mom, a wife, a girlfriend, who was I? After being a boss, an employee, who was I? And that's what I really want to discover. Who am I? What do I really like? Did I really like cooking? Did I really like a lot of things that I was doing? Or was it just doing the things that were necessary to make it into the next day? Isolation for me was a good thing because I rediscovered I love art. I love drawing. I love painting. I love creating. I love making bracelets. I loved a lot of things that I had forgot that I liked as a child, as a young person. I had forgotten all that because I had been busy being a mom, a wife, a girlfriend, a employee, a boss, whatever. I had forgot the things that Vicky really liked. I forgot I liked roller skating. And so I took up roller skating again. I forgot that I like going on long walks. I forgot all the things that I really loved. And I realized although I enjoy cooking, I didn't like it as much as I did it. So those were the things that I learned in my isolation. But one of the most important things that I learned is that I hadn't heard clearly from God like I used to. When all of the busyness was gone and all of the quietness, I realized I needed more God more now than I ever did before. I needed him for my protection. I needed him to know what the next phase of my life was going to be. And I needed to spend more time with him. Isolation was a good thing. Now, I know that they say, oh, don't stay in isolation a long time. You need to be around people where two or three gather. Yes, I have my friends where I either can go out. It's just a lot of things that you can do when you're alone or grown. So isolation can be a good thing. I don't want to stay in it too long, but I realized over time that it's important and it's okay to isolate yourself, to rediscover yourself, because I hadn't done that in a long time. And it was a new me. I was a new person, sort of say. And in being this new person, I discovered that I didn't have to go every 2 weeks or so to get my nails done. That was something I did for work. Now, I do like to still get my feet done, but it wasn't that important that I had to go get my nails done. I discovered that it's okay if I want to pop on a hat and get in front of the camera or go outside with a hat on. It's okay. It's okay that I wanted to wear sweatshirt or sweatpants, tennis shoes. It was okay. The things that I had to do for work, I no longer had to do. And in my isolation, I realized those were some of the things I really liked. I really liked. I was changing as a person. I was getting older, and I'm still getting older, praises to God. But I had to really, in my isolation, realize I love me just the way that I am. There were things I wanted to change. Of course, you gain that menopausal weight or the weight of sitting down in an office. I was no longer that size 2, that size 4, that size 6, that size 8. I had to get used to being and okay with being a size 10 and that I may not go back to a size 8, which is my goal. I'm almost there, but I had to be okay with that. I had to be okay with I didn't have the full length of hair and it was okay. It was okay. It was a part of life and who I am. And in being in isolation, it taught me that, you know what? If you sit too long, you raise up, you're going to get stiff. And you have to get up and you got to make sure that you're moving. You have to make sure that you're eating different. You have to make sure that you guard what you put into your system because everything is important if you want to live a healthy life. And I am okay with being who I am at this stage in my life. And that was lessons I had to learn over time that things do change. Nothing stays the same. And that's okay. It's a part of life. Those were the lessons I learned over time. What are the lessons you learned over time? And with that being said, that's about it. Peace.
Lessons over time. Never seem to cost you, only build your mind. They were shaping your heart, they were steadying your fight. Always keep